and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we're going to take a deeper look at one of the city neighborhood centers. It's called Y.H. Thomas, and my guest is the director there, Synethia White. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
I said director, but you're almost the whole staff, right?
No, I can't take credit away from them. I am the only full-time employee there. We have a great deal of part-time staff that help us and an enormous amount of support from volunteers.
And the volunteer angle is partly what makes this unique. It's not a full city community center. It's truly a partnership with the neighborhood.
Yes, it is. We rely heavily on them, especially for special events, some of which we'll be discussing today. We have to bring in volunteers to help us raise funds, to get in-kind donations, and then also to staff the programs in the community center as well.
And this is a real mix. I mean, when the city, I guess this came about when the city or school looked at tearing down the building, and the neighborhood said, no, this school, Y.H. Thomas, is historically important, and it's a neighborhood center, and we want to keep it.
Mm-hmm. The Coalition for Community Pride and Progress came together in 1996 and championed the city to help them repurpose the facility, and then the agreement was for them to staff it as volunteers based off of a model program that they had seen when they had visited a similar site in Georgia.
You know, that's hard. It's hard to sustain volunteers over that period of time. I mean, people can rise up and be excited about something for a while, but then those people move on and the new generation may or may not come in and do it. Y.H. Thomas has a pretty strong track record of success now for quite a while.
Yes, I think that our type of volunteer has changed because a lot of people have gone back to the workforce for one reason or another, but we do get a lot of support from a younger generation that holds drives for us. They support us a great deal on social media by getting our effort out because, as you may well know, I'm not close to retirement, but as far as social media is concerned and hashtagging and things of that nature, I don't have as many followers.
It's not your thing.
It's not my thing, but we have some wonderful volunteers that are led by, but get in contact for that piece with our part-time person. His name is Mike Nims, and he has a tremendous social media following. So he sets up these hashtags around our events and tweets and does Facebook and Instagram and really gets the information out there for us. And it's helped us save a lot of money and get a lot of support.
That's great. So what are your main events? What are the big things that you guys do?
Well, I would say our most constant and most important event is Fun at 1300, which is our out-of-school program. It runs on the school calendar. The children come in, they get help with homework, we bring in enrichments, they have a snack, and then they have a dinner provided by the culinary training program at the Virginia Peninsula Food Bank. And the reason I say that's most important is because everything shows that kids get into the most trouble between 2 and 6 in the afternoon. And so having a safe place for them where parents are comfortable is really important to our community.
And it's long term. It's an almost every day kind of thing, as opposed to one event that, you know, you kind of move on afterward.
Right. And then we have several special events that we do. A big special event that we do at Thanksgiving is we create a flyer and let folks know that we are going to be able to deliver a Thanksgiving meal to them on Thanksgiving Day. It's for people who would have to take a sizable portion of their monthly food budget to have a meal with all the trimming, and for people who aren't able to cook for themselves but would like to have a nice meal on that day.
That's great.
Yes, it's one of our favorite events. This year, in 3 days, we collected 500 names and did 500 deliveries on Thanksgiving Day.
Wow, that's a lot. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. We had so much volunteer support. It was really overwhelming and very appreciative for that.
So back to the after-school program, about how many kids do you have involved in that?
Usually throughout the whole year, we end up with having about 45 children.
And what ages?
Typically school-age children, 6 to 12 is our biggest number. Most of the time, if we have kids who are in middle school, they have come through the program, but they come back to volunteer.
Good, because that's one of the gaps, I think, in our system is that legally you can leave a middle school kid home alone, but it's maybe not always the best thing to do. But it's, you know, it's harder to continue to pay for that daycare if they don't need it and the programs aren't there. So you guys allowing them to come back as volunteers is a great idea.
Right, and we need their help because math changes every other year.
Yeah.
And so those children cultivate their own group of volunteers that we rely on for children who do need help with math and other homework. And then speaking to affordability, there's a registration fee, and then there's a monthly donation of $10. If you don't have the registration fee and you don't have the donation, it doesn't matter. We're not going to turn you away because not worth the money to have a child at home alone or not being engaged in something positive.
So Synethia, how do we patch together the funding for this? Because the normal, after school programs for middle class kids, usually the parents have to pay the freight of that. The city fronts the money and then pretty much gets it back. We don't make money, we don't lose money on those programs. But yours is different. I mean, you're in a pocket of an area that really needs support.
Right. So what we do is we do other fundraising, we do facility rentals. Our board of directors solicits other donations and in-kind support. And then we get a great deal of support from Parks and Recreation, and the main portion of the block grant funding that we write for is to support after-school programming for youth.
And that's federal money?
Yes, federal money, yes. Yeah.
So piecing all that together probably takes a lot of your time and effort.
It's worth it.
Yes, it is.
It's worth it. It takes some time, and at times it can be challenging, but I think that if everybody's in it for the right reason, it makes it a lot easier when you see the smile on a kid's face because they got to experience something that otherwise may not have happened. It's definitely worth it. And if you bring together all the parts, the board raises money so the kids have snacks after school. The food bank has that wonderful program that prepares those meals. We get volunteers to help us with tutoring, and we come up with activities that are low cost but fun and interactive and engaging for the children.
And then you guys do that all summer too.
Over the summertime, we have a playground program. That's a Parks and Recreation program, but we do similar things. I think that our department overall in recreation, our division in recreation has worked really hard to find activities that are fun for the kids that don't hurt anyone's pockets.
That's great. Okay, and now we're going to talk about your SEEDS program.
Yes.
So tell me what that stands for and just a little bit about it.
Okay. SEEDS is our Community and Resource Fair and Back to School Supply Giveaway. It stands for Strengthening Educational Experiences to Create Dynamic Students.
That's a long one. Okay.
It is a mouthful, but when we planned it, my co-creator, Shonda Epps from the school system, we were drawing a sketch and talking about how we need to plant the seeds at the beginning of the year for the parents and for the students and for the community to support positive youth development and engagement throughout the year, especially in supporting their educational experiences.
And what's so different about this is it isn't just a giveaway.
Right.
I mean, not that that's not important. People need supplies.
Right.
There's no question that there's a need for that. But you guys use it to take that to another level.
Right. We are not a school supply where you come and get it and you go away. It is mandatory that you stay for at least an hour and a half of sessions. We have very engaging presenters. They only speak for 30 minutes. We actually try to get them to present for 20, so there's 10 minutes for questions. We provide lunch, and then we bring in entertainment with bounce houses, clowns, things of that nature that you don't have to stay for, but you do have to participate in at least 3 or the number of mandated sessions that we have for you to receive the supplies. Because we can find somebody to donate crayons and a book bag, but a parent knowing where to find grades, how to contact a teacher, how to encourage a child in the morning before they go to school, to make sure you open up a binder and check the students' notes. Those are the things that are most important to us.
So there's parent workshops and parent involvement as well as what you do
for
with
young
the
people.
kids.
We have Kids Zone where the kids are doing activities, and then we have sessions for parents. Parents can take their children to the sessions because Kids Zone is very popular, but we try to do something so that the young person doesn't feel like they're stifled on a Saturday and they're getting ready to go back to school.
Right.
And most important, I think our most challenging piece is going to come this year because we're actually looking at breaking seeds into a program that happens on the same day, possibly at the same time in 4 different areas.
That's great. Well, we're going to see a video about that in a moment, but I want to give you a chance to make a pitch for volunteers, for help, for donations, for what you guys need to keep these programs going.
Okay. Most important, I think, is volunteer support. And I would say secondly would be full utilization of the neighborhood center. So if you're in the area and you're looking for a place to walk in the morning, come in and walk. If you're interested in volunteering to help us with filing, helping us with tutoring, to lead an activity, an arts program, you can just give me a call at the center. Our number is 727-1200. And if you want to support an event, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the organization. YH Thomas Community Center, Inc. is a nonprofit. Our website is yhthomas.org, and there's donate links on there. Your money, we're very, very good stewards with the funding that we receive. and your money could go to support after-school programming, a monthly field trip for children where we take them to museums and different social and cultural experiences, or it could benefit Seeds. If you tell us that there's a specific program that you would like it to support, we are very good at making sure that your funding goes towards that.
That's great. And I want to say, I encourage people to go and experience it, because I was at an after-school function, and I can't even remember why. Maybe I was with City Council, and the kids were talking to Council, and these were some amazing kids. Mm-hmm. First of all, they were warm and friendly and very huggy and affectionate, but they were also, I mean, you were putting them on the spot and asking them questions, and there they were, little bitty kids, speaking out and talking to City Council and telling them, you know, their name and their life's goals. And once you meet these kids, I think people will be really hooked at wanting to stick around and wanting to give more.
Yeah, and most importantly, I think when you look at a child, a lot of times you see yourself, and you see that someone being involved in your life or an experience in your life helped you make a good decision or a bad decision. And so to be a part of a positive change and a positive progression, you know, is really profound. I guess after you go back and think about it, but a small bit of support goes a long way.
And you know, kids are the future. It's also like you may be looking back at yourself, but you're also looking at, wow, what this person can be and the amount of potential you can see right now, and helping that to develop. Do
you want to help a young person and encourage them now to open a door for you at the grocery store, or do you want to help a young person that is standing outside of the grocery store up to nothing? It's really, you know, it's really up to us.
It's our choice.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming by, Synethia, and telling us about your programs. And we're going to sign off, but we're going to come back with the video so you can learn a little bit more about the Seeds program and actually see it in action. Thank you for watching.
So the whole logo and concept of Seeds is based on cultivating dynamic students. So planting the seeds at the beginning of the school year so that they will be successful throughout, so flourish and grow throughout the school year. And that's basically the whole purpose of the design, students growing into dynamic humans and really having all that they need for a successful school year.
We have worked very hard to make this very different from a typical back-to-school giveaway, because we feel like the supplies and the book bag on your back are important, but we feel like giving you resources and information on how to help that young person in your life throughout the school year is equally, if not more important. We can always go out and buy another pack of pencils, but building a young person up so that they have pride in themselves and they care about what they do and where they're going is invaluable.
So we should do that one, right?
A lot of people don't realize is that if you have at least 3 credit cards out there and you have a 9% interest rate on all 3 of those credit cards, how much interest are you really paying? 27%.
For the city of Hampton, the average income is about $54,000. In this community, in the census tract in particular, the average is half that, about $27,000 for a household. So that is a direct correlation to being able to provide supplies for one or multiple children to have a successful school year. And last but not least, a lot of people may not like it, but Saturday at a football field, it's full. Tuesday night at a PTA meeting, we're underrepresented. And that's where we want to encourage our parents to speak and don't be reactive. Get involved. Push your students. Support the educator.
You're preparing your attitude. You might have a bad day today. Because your attitude's prepared in the way that music got changed. Now, on the flip side, if you put on some music that prepares your attitude in the right way, and at least you feeling good, at least you feeling, then guess what? When somebody goes against you, or somebody cuts you off in traffic, or somebody looks at you nasty, So whatever, it's all good.
A lot of things that most people think are common knowledge, a lot of families don't have the information based on their own background or experiences. So I think equipping parents with knowledge, equipping guardians, family members with knowledge, I think is one of the biggest things. And also making available more opportunities for them to learn about different resources and programs for their families, and just cultivating those experiences.
We have the food bank come in because a lot of folks have limited income, and I think everybody knows groceries are expensive, and healthy food is really expensive. So it was our idea to bring in the food bank to say, this is what you can eat on a budget. It's still good, it's not processed. This is a way to prepare it that your kids will eat it and enjoy it. We have financial institutions that come in because you may say that back to school has nothing to do with money. Well, if you're pushing this child to do well, as a parent, you should be preparing yourself to help them get where they want to go after they finish that 12th year, of their 12th grade year. So somebody to come in, and we're not doing anything very high level. The little things you can do today and every day to encourage that young person that you are responsible for to make good decisions in school and ultimately in their community.
All of these agencies provide information, resources, and some type of service that they could really benefit from. So we want to use this as an opportunity to provide them with that information. And the whole premise of the event is to equip families with information to have a strong start to the school year. So by connecting them with the organizations, they'll have information so that they can be proactive about seeking out additional support as they need it.
Wouldn't you rather support an event that is focused on long-term outcomes and the success of young people? Meaning, a young person that's ready to go to school, that's eager to learn and expand their horizons, is less likely to do everything negative and not see their future potential. And so they'll do negative things because they don't see a light at the end of the tunnel.
I'm really pleased with how this program has grown and the number of sponsors that we have and the number of families that we're able to serve. We've seen a tremendous growth over the 3 years that we've done this event, and I would just like to continue it and hopefully spread it out to other community centers in the city.
To find out more about the SEEDS program, you can call the center and ask for me directly, Synethia White, 727-1200. If you want to donate, if you want to serve on the planning committee, if you want to become a vendor or possibly complete a presentation. And then on the other end, if you wanted to get involved with the community center on a long-term basis, we're always looking for volunteer support. The majority of our programs are supported heavily by volunteers. We take one-time commitments and ongoing commitments at the same level. We provide the background check at no cost to you. We work with your schedule. And I always tell folks, if you're thinking about doing it, just give me a call, we can talk about it. We have some needs where we need volunteers, but the best thing about it is I don't know everyone else's time availability or their talents. But if you have a talent that you want to share with the community, we can definitely work with you to afford you that opportunity.